Hello and thank you for joining us on another episode of our podcast, Talking FIFA Mobile with FM Indian. Today we will be talking about the El Dorado event and discuss whether it was able to redeem the glory lost by the underwhelming Atlantis event or it is just another entry in the Hall of Shame. Joining me is the one and only BARCAFUT17. As predicted in our previous podcast, there is a second chapter of the treasure hunt event. So, BARCAFUT17, what were your first thoughts about El Dorado?
I think immediately we could see that the structure of the event was much cleaner, much what we're used to, a formal path to claim players, something you saw like in transfer. Um, and it was much more what we're used to in the sense. I didn't understand the Atlantis system of getting players. It was very awkward. But the trade off, of course, is EA being EA, a better system, a better looking event. The players lacked. There wasn't as many players that you could really say that are worth going for. I think most people were surrounded by the hype of 𝗦𝗫𝗄𝗃, but all the other good players we could see in this event aren't free to play. As you see, Douglas Costa and Devin Neres.
Very well said, brother. A better structure, but a worse selection of players. But my first reaction was that there are a little too many currencies in this event, and not in a good way like the Lunar New Year event. First, you have to get the mining tokens from playing skill games or versus attack matches. And if you are lucky enough while playing those skill games, you may get a travel ticket. Then you have to convert the mining token into gold points to progress in the gold part. The travel tickets will get you anywhere between 25k to 500k coins in the City of Gold chapter.
Yeah, I think the only, and I think it was a little wonky about this event too, is that it's very unsure what is free to play or not. A lot of people say, that 𝗦𝗫𝗄𝗃 could be free to play. The calculations and guides I've seen said that if you have a 52% win rate and you play half versus attack, half skill games, you could get him. Now with this hidden path that's going to release, it looks like 𝗦𝗫𝗄𝗃 is going to be free to play again. But it's a lot of grind. It's a lot of grind just to get the 101 player. I think the safest bet was the 99 Sanchez, right? Is probably if you just play skill game.
Exactly. I don't know why they did the token to point conversion thing, but it seems like they wanted to add a little engagement to an otherwise dead game. In the process, they ended up making a little more tiresome, as if training your players with 1000 XP cards wasn't enough.
Yeah, I really didn't like this that structure of having you could either get 50, you could get 20, you could get 10. I don't know how much it's gonna affect, but I feel like you could be at the end and you need that 50, but you don't get it, and then you just fall short of the player. I that just the multiple currencies. It's just a lot. It's a lot, and also it's not really exciting. Like I get a travel ticket, and I get a player if I collect 10, 15 times. Um, I seen this in other events too, where you had to do this little thing like tap the mining icon. It's kind of unnecessary. I kind of wish, like you said, they just give us the tokens. And if you really analyze it, half of this event is kind of just useless because it's just waiting for a currency, and you could get the gold coins, you could get 150 coins or whatever it is. We barely use it though, so I think it's just filler for EA.
Yeah, it was expected to be a big main event, but has turned into a filler event and not a good one.
Yeah, I think this is one of the events that I probably would just go for skill boost. There's one thing that I think many people did not see, but I'm kind of interested in is that if you go straight down the middle path, right, you actually get 80 rare shards. And I don't know about you, but at least for me and other people I've talked about, the rare shards is going to be important because I ran out of rare shards. I have right now I have 10, but like 2 days ago I only had 0. And if I did the calculation, if you do the SBCs in the event, you get those 80 rare shards, and you complete hazard as normal, you could increase by one overall. The downside though, you potentially lose out on skill boost. From my calculations, if you just do skill games, the max skill boost you could get was like around 3,000. But if you go towards this path that I'm talking about, you only get 2,000, but at the same time you get rare shards. And in my opinion, I think that even though skill bursts are hard to get, I think rare shards are going to be even harder to get.
Well, to be honest, I don't agree completely with you because you can earn boosts by doing icon SBCs. But yeah, rare shards and TXPs are the hardest to find. I personally run out of common shards a lot.
Yeah. That reminds me though, because with the skill boost, I think I've heard people talk about this, but me personally, even I didn't do this frequently. But the SBCs and the small SBC challenges, that like you like fill a league with I think it's like 70 overall players, and you could do each league like 20 times. I started that. I think it was like a month back, and they're really cheap to do, and they give you a lot of skill boosts. I forget the exact number, but if you complete all of them, it's a lot of skill boosts you get. I stopped because I forgot what event came, but there's an event came, and I was like, I have to save my coins. But now that I have something in the bank, that's an easy way to get skill boosts.
You can get 16,050 boost if you complete all the League Kit SBCs.
If I remember correctly, from calculations from other accounts, I believe it's only like 15 mil that you're spending. I know some leagues you could easily find a lot of players under 1,000 coins. I haven't tried any other league that's more than 1,000 because I was trying to find the cheapest. But I think for the price, this is a pretty good deal.
Yeah, the only 70 rated players above the 1k coins mark belong to the Premier League, as far as I have seen.
Okay, let's talk about Hazard. Did I say Hazard? Sorry. Let's talk about right now �ыcie Rodriguez. I think the most exciting card in this event to most players, right?
Yup, the most trending player in the community right now.
Yeah. I'm gonna have an unpopular opinion right here, but I personally don't like �ыcie Rodriguez card as much as others. I see why though. I see why other people want it though. Because if you compare it with Zidane, clearly, if you just go pure by like base stats, Zidane clearly is better. But what people are looking at is the shooting. Shooting is what's attracting this card. As a cam, it has 138 shot power, 140 long shots, which is the main complaint against Zidane. A lot of people who want to replace Zidane say that his long shots, his shot power is very low. And I've seen it myself. Recently, I think if I'm in verse attack and the keeper saves the ball, it's because Zidane shot it. And if you do a quick compare both at 101, if you look at the stats, James, like I said, I have 140 long shot, Zidane only 133, 138 shot power, and this is the big one, to only 124 for Zidane, and I think that's what most people are feeling in gameplay. I personally I just don't like the 116 pace aspect. It's only 113 acceleration, but especially with the style of play, I think people that doesn't affect most people who want the card. And arguably, long shots is the better skill boost. Counter isn't really the best, but since the Don has it, it's been one of the skill boost people look for in a card. Overall, everything else this was all right. He has 140 ball control, lower dribbling than you might want, only 126. But another aspect I think people are looking at is that he will probably bring the most coins. Realistically, he's the highest player you could possibly get without spending money. And I think a lot of people have a lot of different estimates, but people said around 15 million, maybe like 10 million coins, but that could be a huge profit for a lot of players.
Yeah, I was thinking of getting him in my team if he would have come with a second striker boost, but I don't use long shots, so I'm just going to sell him, even though he's one of my favorite players in real life.
Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed that EA hasn't released more players with different skill boosts. We saw that in the youth and team of the season, ultimate team of the season. You saw some players with some strange skill boosts, but could be very useful in building a team. I really thought that they would carry that into new events. I guess that was like a one-time thing, maybe, because you haven't seen that in new events, which is kind of disappointing.
I think they'll probably do it in the preseason event.
Thinking that too, preseason probably might see that as well.
But yeah, nonetheless, 𝗚cie is a great card for people who use long shots and wanted Team of the Season 𝗦𝗽𝗫 or Team of the Season 𝗦𝗫𝗀 in their team but couldn't afford them.
With the addition of the hidden chapter, 𝗚cie Rodriguez looks like he might be free to play again. A lot of people were concerned about the structure, including myself. I didn't really understand how it would work. We saw the leaks and the rewards. But from what I understand, I asked around, and it's going to be like a special chapter like we saw in the team of the season so far. And that's gonna be good for the players who want to get him, especially because you could just play the matches and then reach the end. It's not like other events where for example, like in Lunar where you have envelopes, you kind of have to pick and choose which one you can get. But this is gonna be easier for players to obtain him, especially with the mishap EA had really with the milestone players, which was very disappointing. Because many people, including myself, thought that you could claim every milestone as long as you reach the number.
We usually don't talk much about pay to win cards, but this event doesn't offer much for F2P players like us, so we decided to talk about some of those cards that are unobtainable.
Yeah, I think some of these players are good. I don't think anyone really excited me that much. I think David Neres. I think Douglas Costa was pretty good. He was on Berrios' level, also Zaha's level, but that would take forever to claim free to play. It's very out of reach. But I think David Neres was probably one of the best ones, especially because he really, if you look at the stats, he rivals Dalvin, which is probably one of the best right wings right now.
Yeah, this guy, David Neres, has max dribbling even at 97.
Yeah, even at 97, I believe he beats Dalvin. I think some of the other good players, have kind of scared leagues. If you look at I believe there's this white wing Chara. He looks good. If you upgrade him, he will be. He's a very good looking card, but he's from the MLS, so it might be a little difficult. I feel like there's a couple players like that. You upgrade him. If you look at Quintero, from the Argentina Primera División, Uh, he kind of looks like Zidane upgraded a little bit, maybe lacking pace with counter. So there's a little sprinkling of players here and there that that look good. I think the other person, 𝗚𝗚cie, or the 93 Colombian center back.
Yes, yes.
I think he's one of the people, kind of like 𝗚𝗚, that people might look at. The strong, physical center back, pacey.
Well, as we reach the end of this episode, I want to ask you, has this event, El Dorado, able to bring back some love and respect that people had for Treasure Hunt, or it's just another event destroyed by EA?
Yeah, I think it's no doubt way behind last season's. They really set the bar high, so anything below it was going to be a disappointment. I really didn't think that they could probably make a worse event than Atlantis, but I think Atlantis was better. I think it just made it worse. This El Dorado, because at least in Atlantis you got a good player. You got a good 99 player. I guess the best. You could get Sanchez, bad boost, probably going to be very cheap to sell. And then at most, 𝗚𝗚ce, but, there's a lot of grind involved. I don't think a lot of people want to do the grind.
I was talking to some players on Instagram and they really want to grind for players. As the schools, colleges remain closed, they want something in the lines of the last year's UCL event where you could claim Primac and Markova and Bastion if you spend 24 hours playing versus attack. But if you ask me, I don't want a grindable event. I really don't. I don't want to play the game all day long because at the end of the day, we have to face the reality. It's just a game. It's a part of your life, not your whole life.
Yeah, that's what I think I meant. I personally wouldn't grind. I know I grind sometimes when I want to play, I will grind. But in this event, I'm not willing to grind. But you're right. I see a lot of people saying to go for it. But even when they grind, a lot of people are going to fall short.
As always, thank you for joining me on my podcast. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Comment down below if you liked the El Dorado event or not. Till then, I will see you next time on another episode of Talking FIFA Mobile with FM Indian. Goodbye.